Hi everybody, welcome back to Sunshine Soap and Candle Company. I've been getting lots of requests to share with you how I make my sugar scrubs, and tonight I'm going to be sharing my process with you. You can also find this recipe on my Patreon page, and for those of you that watched my body butter video, you know that I do not like greasy textures on my skin. And so I promise you this recipe is just as good as the body butter recipe for that reason. It is a non-greasy sugar scrub and I think you're really gonna like it. I've gotten a lot of really great feedback on the body butter recipe on my Patreon page. People are telling me how much they love it and it's great, it soaks right into the skin. And I formulated this recipe several years ago specifically for that reason, because lots of sugar scrubs that I've used in the past have left a greasy residue on my skin. So tonight I'm going to share with you how I make mine so it does not leave that texture on your skin, and I will be linking the recipe into my Patreon page so you can take a look at it and purchase it if you like. All right, let's get started. All right, let's go over the list of ingredients before we get started. So the first things first is we're going to be using a lot of white refined granulated sugar. I really do like the texture of the white granulated sugar. It's not too heavy of an exfoliant and it's not too light. It's perfect right in the middle. And we're gonna be using sweet almond oil. Sweet almond oil is a nice light carrier oil, but it has great emulsifying properties. I'm gonna be using coconut oil. I'm using the soft and silky emulsifying wax. I'm gonna be using two different fragrance oils tonight. I'm gonna be using the Rustic Essentials lemon curd. It smells so good. If you like that kind of lemony smell with a bakery note, this is really good. And it's gonna be a nice fall fragrance to add to my line. Smells so good. I'm gonna be adding in some pumpkin apple butter from Nature's Garden, and this is gonna be in the other half of the batch. You guys know how much I love the pumpkin apple butter. It's a beautiful fall fragrance. It's got nice cinnamon and spice notes and some really good pumpkin notes in it as well. So we're going to be splitting the batch into two different fragrances. And then I'm going to be using some avocado oil. I'm also going to be using some vegetable-based stearic acid that's in here as well. I'm going to be using some rice bran oil. I'm also going to be using some beeswax. I'm using some white cosmetic grade beeswax. It's also in here. And we're going to be using a preservative. Now I am not adding any water to this recipe, but I am putting a preservative in this recipe because if you're taking this product into the shower, there's a good chance that some water is going to be getting into the product. So it's good to add a preservative so you don't get any bacteria growing in your sugar scrub when it's in the shower. We're going to be using some colorants as well. I'm going to be using the yellow Vibrance Mica from Nurture Soap and the orange Vibrance Mica also from Nurture Soap. All right, let's get started. All right, I'm going to bring you over to the stove because this is the next part of the process. Now I have created a double boiler method here out of a pan and another bowl. The pan has water in it and it is going to go ahead and boil, and then I'll show you what I'm putting in here. Okay, to this bowl I'm going to be adding my beeswax, my stearic acid, my emulsifying wax, we're going to get that all in there. And I'm also going to be adding in my coconut oil. All of these things that I'm adding in here have a high heat tolerance and they have a high melt point. So except the coconut oil, it can tolerate high heats, but the e-wax, the stearic acid, and the beeswax all have a high melt point. So I want to go ahead and do these separate from all of my liquid oils. Okay, we're just going to go ahead and let that melt down, and I will bring you back and show you what it looks like when it's all melted down. Okay, here is the beeswax, the stearic acid, the e-wax, and the coconut oil all melted down. Now to that I'm going to be adding in my sweet almond oil. I didn't heat this up at all. I'm just pouring it in, room temp, and I'm stirring at the same time because you can see that the emulsifying wax is doing its job here and it's trying to go ahead and emulsify those oils. So just keep stirring it around, make sure it gets all incorporated. This is the reason why this sugar scrub is not greasy, because we are emulsifying it, which means we're taking the oils and we're making them into more of a lotion type consistency. So the oil is not going to sit directly onto your skin. It's going to glide on with the sugar and it's going to go on more like a lotion and a scrub type consistency, and it rinses off super clean in the shower. And it leaves your skin feeling silky soft and beautiful. So there's the sweet almond oil. Then we're going to be adding in the avocado oil. Avocado oil is a nice, luxurious, moisturizing oil to add to your products. It's also great for mature or aging skin. So I'm adding that one in next, stirring as I go along. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and give that a stir. You can see it starting to try to emulsify a little bit in there, so we're just going to keep stirring until it's all incorporated. And then I'm going to be adding in the rice bran oil. Rice bran oil is a great antioxidant for the skin. It's got a high vitamin E content. So we're going to go ahead and add in the rice bran oil. It's a very nice, inexpensive oil to add to your products. Any type of leave-on product, it's great. Okay, so we went ahead and added in the rice bran oil. And I'm going to make sure that all gets in there. And I'm going to go ahead and stir. And keep stirring. And right about now, I'm going to take the temperature. We do want to go ahead and add in our preservative, but we don't want the temperature to be too hot when we add in the preservative because it'll burn it right off. But I want to go ahead and add the preservative into my liquid mixture right now. Okay, we're sitting at right about 107 degrees. I definitely want this to come down below 100 before I add in that Optifin. So I will bring you back when we're ready to go ahead and stir in the preservative. Okay, this is how it looks after it starts to cool. It takes on kind of a lotiony look, and it is lighter in appearance, kind of more creamy and lotiony. It's starting to thicken up a little bit, and then we're sitting right around 100 degrees. So right around this point is a good time to add the preservative. So I'm going to be adding in my Optifin. Okay, now this body butter is not going to foam. There's no foaming agent in this body butter. This sugar scrub is not going to foam. It has no foaming agent in it. It has no soap base or anything like that in it. So it's just going to scrub and also leave a lotiony type moisturizing feeling on your skin. Okay, we're stirring in the preservative, making sure it's all the way incorporated. And then the next thing I'm going to do is start adding in my sugar slowly. I know this looks like a lot of sugar, you guys, but just wait. You will see, at least in my opinion, it has the best texture. The other reason to keep this mixture on a low heat before you pour in the sugar is you don't want to melt any of the sugar into the product. You want the sugar to stay intact. And if the mixture is too hot, the sugar will melt. Okay, we're just going to do this little by little until all the sugar is incorporated into the mixture. The stearic acid is going to act as a hardening agent along with the beeswax. Okay, you can see it's starting to get thicker, but it's still a rather soupy consistency. I like my sugar scrubs to be scoopable out of the container, meaning I can pick up a small chunk of it and it's not going to run out of my fingers and down the drain. Okay, there's that. We're going to keep adding the sugar. And see it starting to become more like a sugar scrub. We're just going to keep incorporating the sugar until it's all mixed in. And this right here seems like it's a good amount of sugar, but I do add the rest in because I have found with this recipe, after you let it sit for a while, if you don't have enough sugar in there, the oils will float to the top. So this is the perfect amount of sugar, in my opinion, after it sets up, that it stays completely mixed in. This came after a lot of trial and error, you guys. I had to experiment with this a lot to get the correct texture. It's gonna seem awfully thick right about here. Just keep stirring. Okay, I'm gonna give this a little bit more of a stir off camera, and then I'm gonna bring you back when I'm ready to divide this recipe in half. Okay, here's my 2 batches. Now I'm gonna go ahead and work with the pumpkin apple butter fragrance first, and I'm gonna take the fragrance oil. I'm gonna be taking the fragrance oil and putting in my orange vibrance mica right into the fragrance oil to dissolve it. Now this is about a teaspoon I'm putting in right there. We're gonna go ahead and stir it up and get it all combined. That way it should pour nicely into the sugar scrub. It's about a teaspoon. All right, now I'm gonna go ahead and pour this right into the first container. That's what it looks like. We're gonna go ahead and give it a good stir to get the color and the fragrance all mixed up in there. Don't want to get this too pigmented. We're just looking for a nice orange color, and you'll know when it's all mixed in when all the color is evenly distributed. It's a nice pumpkin-y color. I'm going to go ahead and continue to keep stirring this until we get it all mixed in. That is nice and incorporated. So then we're going to set this one aside and move over to the other one, which is going to be the lemon curd. Now, for this recipe, you could just do the whole thing one fragrance. but I like to do 2 fragrances at once, just to make sure I sell out of everything. Okay, so there's the pumpkin apple butter. It's just a beautiful texture. I'm gonna go ahead and set that aside. I'm gonna bring my lemon curd into the frame, and I'm gonna do the same thing. So with the lemon curd fragrance oil, I'm gonna be adding in about a teaspoon of yellow vibrance mica and giving it a good stir. I'm just looking for a light yellow color. I don't want anything too pigmented in my sugar scrubs. And then I'm going to pour the whole thing right into the mixture. I'm giving it a good stir till all the color and fragrance is incorporated in. All right, and there is the lemon curd. I just kind of want to show you the texture close up, so you can see what I mean about how it's emulsified and not greasy. So this is what it looks like. Watch when I push on it. I mean, it's just so gorgeous. It's like not too thick that it's falling apart and crumbly, but it is like beautiful, beautiful texture. And then when you get in the shower, you just scoop a little bit out and rub it on. Absolutely gorgeous. All right, I'm gonna be right back to show you how I scoop these into the containers. All right, we're ready to go ahead and spoon these into our jars. I'm using some 8-ounce PET jars, and you wanna make sure that you are using the right kind of plastic for cosmetics. So this is the PET jar from Nature's Garden, and they work great for sugar scrubs and lotions and other applications. So I like to take a large serving spoon and scoop it in, and I'm gonna go ahead and show you how I do that. So you just wanna make sure that you're using gloves to drop a little bit on the counter, and you wanna make sure that you have cleaned out your containers with 91 or 99% rubbing alcohol. So I fill them right up to the top. This is what it looks like. It's so luxurious. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and fill in the rest of the containers. You want to keep a paper towel around too, because when the sugar gets around the edges like mine did here, you want to be able to wipe it down, or you can use like a lint-free clean cloth to pull the sugar off the edges, because when you put the lid on it crunches. The sugar makes a crunching sound. So we're going ahead and we're just filling it all up. So that fills up exactly 5 containers. And I'm gonna move on to the lemon curd, but I'm gonna go ahead and do that part off camera. Again, you could do this recipe not splitting it and just doing all 10 containers with the same fragrance if you like, but I do like to split it just to give people some more variety. It smells so good. And if you liked this video, please remember to like, comment, subscribe, and share with a friend. Thanks so much. Catch you on the next video. Okay, here they are all capped off and ready to go. I did want to show you real quick how I label these. I just went and I got one from my inventory. This is pear champagne, and this is how it looks when it's all set up. It's absolutely gorgeous. No floating oils, You can turn it over, nothing falls out. It's not greasy at all. Leaves a great texture on your skin. There's only a few left of these on the website, by the way. And I use a laser label so that it doesn't run in the shower. The ink stays on the label. After a long while, they do start to degrade, but for the most part, they stay intact and they stay really nice in the shower. So I do use a laser print label to do my sugar scrub labels. All right, thanks so much. Catch you on the next video.